Hey everybody, it's Murgle, and today in this one, well, really in this one, it's just more disappointment, I think. I tuned into Blizzcon with very high optimism and very low expectations this year. Because I thought to myself, even if WoW was letting me down, I thought that doesn't make a difference to me. Because BlizzCon is about all Blizzard games. It's not just about World of Warcraft. I'm a fan of most of them. So to me, I thought, hey, there's definitely going to be something for me up on that stage at one point. I got hope regardless of what I'm doing, so just tune in and have a little optimism. Plus, I'm paying more for this ticket than I have ever paid before. The virtual ticket has risen in price this year, so surely Blizzard must be going all out for this one. Well, if you were like me and tuned in and watched all day, you kinda know how it went. So first up, the opening ceremonies. This is the part of the event that is broadcast to everywhere, and you don't even need the ticket to enjoy these festivities. No. This is the hype part of the event. So if you weren't already sold on the virtual ticket, well, hopefully you'll buy one after seeing these amazing hype reveals. I didn't get that though. Most of the reveals were pretty underwhelming. Of course, there's the new hero for Overwatch, which is always fun to try out, especially because Ashe, the hero they announced, is such a very unique playstyle from the footage it seems. Very much looking forward to it. I'm a big Overwatch fan, believe it or not. I play Overwatch quite a bit, and I'm not amazing. I'm not super ranked or anything, but I do enjoy it for fun, and the hero does look challenging, so I'm excited to play. And then you had Hearthstone, with another fun little event coming out in no time at all. They're releasing in December, the Rastakhan Rumble, which, I thought it was deaf at first, or I thought that my virtual ticket was broken. You obviously saw that the Hearthstone reveals were a bit delayed because they couldn't even get the audio working. I'm paying more for my ticket and I can't even watch the show. But forget that, right? Then a huge one for me, right? Not in this order, right? This wasn't the order of the reveals though, but huge one for me. The Warcraft 3 remaster. This is what got me the most excited of this entire BlizzCon, because I remember that game was one of the major reasons I even got into playing World of Warcraft. I had never played any of the Warcraft games before it. Warcraft 3 though, that story really enveloped me. I thought it was amazing. I had so much fun playing it. And then to hear that they're making a remaster of Warcraft 3, the graphics that they've decided to do for it, they're very well designed. It still keeps that very, it's got a classic-esque feel to it. It's not like the graphics are way overdone. They've done it to the point where it just feels really good. And, it's a major thing for me. I really, really enjoy it. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm absolutely going to be purchasing that, and it comes with a pretty sick mount for World of Warcraft, so excited to see what that mount looks like when they finally add it to the game. You can't currently get it. It's coming soon, but definitely looks neat. Then, the Warcraft reveals. So, going over the Warcraft reveals, I felt like they were kind of bland. Maybe it was just the host of them. Maybe it was the lack of hype because of how Battle for Azeroth has made a large portion of the community feel, and a lot of the player base is kind of in a rut, it seems. I'm not sure what it is, but it just didn't feel like the heart was in it for the crowd. There wasn't that much excitement for the reveals. It seemed awful quiet for a BlizzCon, is all the way I can put it. And then the absolute worst flop I think Blizzard has ever had to announce was the Diablo Immortals for mobile devices. That's just, I think, probably the biggest letdown that they've ever possibly announced. I play all of them. I play Heroes of the Storm, and they're announcing new heroes for that. I play Overwatch. I played all of them. And this was just, let's get into a little more detail about it. So, for Diablo Immortals, right? When I was sitting there, watching the reveal, and then later watching the What's Next panel, shortly after, I was just sort of in shock. Diablo is one of WoW's oldest, Diablo is one of Blizzard's oldest and most popular franchises. It's been a long time game of Blizzard, and I feel so bad for the major fans of Diablo because they've been led on for a very long time that a major announcement was coming. It would be revealed at Blizzcon. I'm quite certain that nobody expected it would be this. Much like the remastered version of Warcraft 3, I believe Diablo fans expected a remaster as well, in the form of Diablo 2, or if they didn't want to go down that route, and you don't have that to bring to table, then at least an announcement for Diablo 4 releasing soon. Something. Diablo 4 would have been a great announcement too, because Diablo 3 has pretty much run its course in terms of story. And I know a lot of fans didn't even like Diablo 3. The major fans seem to think it was just not the Diablo game they grew up with. I found it fun. I've played Diablo 3 quite a lot, believe it or not. I've played a whole bunch. And I never tried out the other games because I just thought it was the same franchise. So surely it's got to be similar, right? But even I understand now, if I were to go back and play Diablo 2, I probably would love it because I thought Diablo 3 was great. And I know there's so many people out there still playing Diablo 2 right now because they consider it amazing. So, being a fan of Diablo 3, when I saw what they were announcing as the next step, this half-baked Chinese mobile game, I was shocked. That's definitely not the big reveal that people were looking forward to. This was like kicking a person while they're down, because the major fans have been waiting so long for just something to come. This wasn't it, though. This is definitely not something BlizzCon-esque to announce, I would say. This is literally just a reskinned mobile game that will probably be riddled with microtransactions. It's just disgusting, is the best way to put it. I even felt bad for the announcer Wyatt, because you could truly see as he was revealing this, the poor man was getting in shambles. He must have saw the audience's reaction and just fell apart because he was losing it up on that stage, he couldn't get stuff out because he knew people weren't liking it. And he's probably a force to announce this garbage. And just, I don't know. After all the BlizzCons I've seen, all the clips I've seen from them, all the footage, and just overall keeping pace with Blizzard as a company, I don't really ever think I've seen such a negative reaction to anything they've done. Especially at BlizzCon itself. They legitimately booed the developers while they were on the stage. And we really gotta appreciate that one absolute legend that just roasts the game. Look right here. And it's so bad, right? Your game is horrible when the only thing that gets cheered for during the entire presentation is a guy mocking your presentation. But all of that aside, though, realizing this is the way the game is going and just seeing where it's at, it should have you worried that they're doing this to Diablo, because Diablo has truly gotten to a place where it feels like there's just no love for the development of the game anymore. It just feels like Blizzard is trying to milk that old cow as long as she still has some left in her. And you see where it gets us. This is what's happening to them. It's bad when developers stop making games they love and that they think would be fun to play, and rather they're making games purely from a statistical standpoint. What's going to get us the most profit in a market? That's how they see it. If Blizzard is willing to let this happen to one of their oldest and most beloved franchises, just crash and burn like this, where do you think World of Warcraft will be soon? So let's talk about that a little more. Now, I know I expressed a few weeks back how I felt about the game, how I felt where it was going, and you can't really deny that it almost feels like it's going down the route Diablo seems to be going in the past years. I feel like many of the developers have simply stopped producing a game that can be loved and more producing a game that pushes metrics higher so that stock investors look at that and they invest more and profit can be made. And when it comes to the reveals at this BlizzCon, I don't really think there was much for WoW. I mean, above all, I'm pretty sure the largest cheers I heard during the entire thing were when they talked about flying in 8.2 and showed a picture of the B-mount. I'm just not sure if the crowd wasn't excited about the reveals, or if Diablo reveals just killed everyone's spirit about this mobile game. But the mood was very lackluster. After like of all the BlizzCons I've seen, it just seemed like the crowd their heart wasn't in it, and it really hurt. Then to top it off, speaking more about Diablo and the impact it's having, it makes me worry even more for World of Warcraft. I said that they would end up going down a route where the game is going to have MTX or microtransactions, because some people didn't know what MTX was when I said it. It means microtransactions. I feel like World of Warcraft is going to end up down that route. And here we are watching that exact same thing happen to Diablo. Did anybody expect Diablo to get to this point? Just say in the comments, did you see this happening? Because I didn't. But, I mean, look what's happening. A franchise starts suffering and hemorrhaging, and then they think, hey, how can we just get as much profit out of this before it completely dies off? What's happening to World of Warcraft now? It's hemorrhaging because of Battle for Azeroth. So, next BlizzCon, they could be announcing a brand new mobile World of Warcraft at this rate. It's going to be integrated with patch 8.2 since they discussed it so little, we can only assume that 8.2 probably isn't coming before next BlizzCon. So expect a 10-month raid tier of Siege of Zuldazar. Battle of Dazalor, or whatever it is. But overall, they just didn't have a lot to reveal, and it just has me on the ropes. I don't know, it's very rough. I was so optimistic. I really was. I didn't expect anything, and yet I still feel let down. I went in with no expectations, because it just concerns me for the future. And if this BlizzCon was any indication of how that might be, then it's a pretty dark future. That being said, I'm kind of glad that it will be December 11th, the release date for patch 8.1. They're adding many quality of life updates and really just overall improvements to start making Battle for Azeroth feel like it's actually hit live instead of beta for Azeroth. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that I can really start enjoying the game and get back into it when December comes around. I'm just hoping it works out. And 8.1.5 had some really nice reviews for me. I especially enjoyed the fact they're trying to make more fantasy to the crafting. I've always enjoyed professions, and I really, really think that's the key to enjoying a lot of fantasy in a game. And they're adding these fun elements. These items you can see here, they all have different effects. So I'm glad they're going down a route where they're trying to add some things like that. But those were the big reveals for me. Yeah, I don't know what to say, honestly, because then following all this, the lackluster reveals, one of my favorite moments in BlizzCon is watching the cosplay exhibition. And even though it's not related to any of the games, I believe it's one of the best things about the entire event. I think many people tune in just to see that. It's so fun seeing these people parading around in these absolute awe-inspiring outfits. And those people, for all their time and all their effort that they put into doing this, some people spend months, years building these costumes. They deserve to be properly recognized. And I felt so bad watching as the host just incorrectly called off person after person and then just awkwardly stood there like, oh, hey, who are you? What's that outfit? It was just really hard to watch. And I don't even blame the host, because, you know, Blizzard had that massive mess up right at the very beginning during their opening ceremonies with Hearthstone. So, I mean, if they could mess up something that colossally, it's not hard to believe that they messed up giving the correct lines to this poor host. She got screwed over just as much as the people that were walking out on stage, in my eyes. And it was a disappointment for me. It really killed my mood just seeing that happen. It was hard to watch. That's the way I can put it. But anyways, I'm going to be going into more details about many of these things after they're revealed tomorrow. I want to watch the Q&As, panels, once all of those have gone live. I just really can't express how most of the reveals made me feel. And the best way to put it is I ate a lot of Reese cups and I tried to put myself, rather, in a chocolate and peanut butter coma so that when I wake up, hopefully Blizzard would start caring about their games again. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.